You're welcome. Wow. Let's give her a nice clap, Bomerians. Let's do it the BOMA way. Wow. Welcome. She's receiving a bouquet. Wow, I think she likes it. Beautiful, beautiful. Karibu, our chief guest. Wow, karibu, karibu. Thank you, ladies. Let's settle down, girls. Thank you, thank you. Girls, let us settle down in silence, please. Let us have silence, please. Thank you. Our chief guest, Karibu Sana, our principal, Karibu. Our other guests, our panelists, our teachers, and Reverend, we recognize you, all protocol observed. You're all welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I am your MC for the day. My name is Sharon Chahale. That's the one I used in BOMA. And now I use water. I'm an ex-Bomerian. Kitambo, before you guys were born, sindio? I'm a Saganerian. Woo! Okay, I'll tell you more later. As we begin, I want us to start with the national anthem. Kindly, let's be upstanding as we start with our national anthem. Guys, we cannot do our national anthem when we are making noise, right? Yes. Silence, please. We are going to be accompanied by the KHS Orchestra and Choir. The East African anthem. Idumu jumuiya yetu. Thank you. We are going to have an opening prayer from Reverend Dr. Judy Kamau, our chaplain. Karibu, Reverend.
Yeah, thank you, our MC, our chief guests, members of the Alumni Association, our chief principal, administration, all invited guests, and our students, good morning. It's such a nice day. To serve is to reign. Education prepares you for service to God and service to man. And I would say that God created us to fit in a specific career. We are assisted by our mentors to be what we are created to be. We are also prepared by education, for that case, BOMA, to be what God created us to be. We must fit in our career path. Let us pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you, Lord, for bringing our chief guests safely. Thank you for bringing our members of the Kenya High School Alumni Association, all the mentors safely. Thank you for bringing our administration safely. And thank you, Lord Almighty, for all the panelists and even our students who are here. You tell us to commit our plans to you, and they shall succeed. I commit this career, BOMA Career Day, to you. I pray that you take over in each and every session, that you speak to us, even as we listen to different people, God of heaven, and that you make it a great success. I commit each and every speaker to you. I pray that you use them to bless us as they guide us. Holy Father, I also pray that you bring those who are still coming safely. We lift up even our chief guest to you. Continue to bless her and to minister to her. Continue to bless the Alumni Association. Continue to bless our administration led by Madam Wahome. Continue to bless Kenya High School to continue to be at the top. I glorify your name and I worship you. I know that you have heard our prayers, because you say when we pray, you answer us. Be glorified in everything. In 2024, cause us to be the best, because we are created to be the best school in the country, all to your own honor and glory. As we start off this career day, I pray that may the Lord God of heaven bless each one of us and what we are going to do today. And may he keep us. May the Lord make his face to shine upon us and be gracious to us. May the Lord turn his face towards us and give us his peace. May the blessings of the Lord God Almighty, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit be upon us, or remain with us during this BOMA Career Day, to the glory of his name. This we pray in the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thank you.
Let's give a clap to our Reverend. We may be seated. Thank you. Our choir, we forgot the school song, or what happened? Are we going to do it now? Okay, let's do the school song. I like it. Okay, let's settle down and have our school song. Land of beauty, regal mountain, proudly point us to the sky. Land of flowers and sunlight highlands, rising o'er savannah dry. Proudly thankful, we thy children ever raise a humble cry. Savirius strictari, God give us grace to serve thee. Those who learn here grace and wisdom share their gifts now far and wide. Like them glowing, wise and gracious, make a time in our hearts and Savirius strictari, Savirius strictari. Gathered here from many places, one in purpose all shall be. Banish fear, forgotten hatred, till we reign in liberty. And with wonder men discover faith in worldwide brotherhood. Savirius strictari, Savirius strictari. Help us, God of all creation, through our love and fear of thee, daily learning truth and wisdom, make our country strong and free, free for life in all its fullness, strong for service to the land. Savirius strictari, God give us grace to serve thee. Wow, let's give it a clap. That's a beautiful song, eh? You see, some of us were here many years ago. We've forgotten some of the parts, but it's cool. We can have our seats now as we start our program. The school hymn. Oops. We will do the school hymn at the end, okay? I know Form 4s want to shout those returning, eh? I know that. It started a long time ago. Okay, this is a beautiful day. We thank God for today. I told you my name is Sharon Chahale. I'll be your MC for the day. I want to send out a shout out to Saganerians. And then 2K2s. That was my class. And then 3S3. No, it was 3S3 then. 3S3s. No, 4S3s, sorry. 4S3s. I think that was the order then, if I'm not wrong, Mrs. Mwenda. Another shout out to Mrs. Mwenda. She was my teacher when I was in BOMA. And she's still here. Another shout out to, by the way, guys, tunatuma salamu sahi, ni kipindi ya kutuma salamu wewe. Another shout out to our principal. Shout out to her. Another shout out to our chief guest. You will know her, a little more later, okay? A big shout out to our guests, our panelists who are here. Ayub, thank you for agreeing to come. I know you feel like a minority and mwalimu, but you're good, you're okay. Shout out to you. Thank you for coming. Yeah? So we are going to have our remarks on the status of the KHS Career Counseling Program by Mr. Maina. Give him a clap as he comes. Thank you, Mwalimu. Karibu.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. God is good and all the time. Thank you so much. Indeed, our God is great, and He has enabled us to have this year Career Day. Let me start by inviting all of us to Kenya High School Career Day 2024. You are all welcome. For the interest of time, I'm going to present the status of the department so that we save on time. The chief guest, Madam Betty Murungi, our chief principal, Miss Virginia Wahome, the two deputies, colleague teachers, the representative from the Kenya High Alumni Association, colleague teachers present, invited guests, students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. A warm welcome to the Kenya High School Annual Career Day. As we gather here today, we embark on a journey to explore the future in technology, entrepreneurship, and creativity as guided in our annual Career Day theme. With the realization of rapid technological advancement, changing economic landscape, and high evolving industrial demands, the workspace is experiencing great changes, and therefore, one needs to have been well equipped to fit in the same. It is because of these dynamics, the Kenya High School, with the collaboration with the KHS Alumni Association, join hands in preparing the student in the current world careers. Today is a culmination of the preparation that have been put in place. We started the journey, or we started the journey with the Form 2 by inviting mentors from different career clusters to take them through what it takes to be in the career they want to pursue. And this one also facilitates their readiness in the subject selection, which we have already done with the current Form 2, and it also happened to the Form 4s that we have this year. Today's event aims at fostering a meaningful dialogue and provide valuable insights into this dynamic world of work. We have invited mentors who are experts in their professions, who will share their knowledge and experience, encouraging us to adapt and embrace work in various fields. Throughout the day, we will be engaged into trending topics, which will definitely have a great impact in our mindsets, skills, which will guide us in our career paths. This is therefore a platform that is going to assist us and also assist our students to embark in their career journeys. And therefore, we are urging individuals to take advantage and engage the resource persons so that they can gain valuable knowledge. To our students, I want to invite all of us to embrace the spirit of exploration, growth, and adaptability because of what is happening or the trends that are there in the world. And therefore, I want to urge all the Form 2s and the Form 4s to seize the opportunity so that they can be helped to shape their future and even the future of their work. With this remark, I want to welcome each and every one of us to feel free to take part and give your best, because this is the day that we had purpose to give for these girls. And girls, as I've said, let us seize the moment, seize the opportunity. The specialists that we are having today, they are expert. Tap the knowledge from them and you'll get benefit from what they have. Again, our chief guests, you are most welcome to the Kenya High School again, because you were once here as a student, but today you are coming here to give back to what you gained to this school. So you are most welcome. And to the rest of us, you are also much and most welcome. Thank you so much, and karibuni sana. Thank you.
Hello? Yes. Next, we are going to have welcoming remarks from our principal, Madam Virginia Wahome, and then she'll introduce any of the administration or BOM who are here. Karibu Mwalimu. Give her a hand clap, please, to welcome her. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you so much. Our chief guest this morning, Advocate Betty Murungi. Our chair, Kenya High School Alumni, Madam Louise Nyamu Steinbeck. Our panelists, our MC, Madam Sharon Wata. Our Kenya High School staff who are present with us this morning. All invited guests. Form 2s and Form 4s of the Kenya High School, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. God is good, and all the time. I feel privileged to be standing in front of you this morning, and I want to welcome all of you to the Kenya High School. I want to tell you we are very happy to have all of you here. You have taken your time to come and share a moment with us to help guide these children as they take the path into the future. I'm calling them children because they are our children. And they look up to us for guidance and counsel, and that is the reason why we have gathered here today. So to all of you who have come to join us, welcome to BOMA. I would also like to thank the alumni for the good thoughts they have had for this institution. They always come back here, and every time they come, they leave a mark because of what they do for this institution. They have loved this school, they have loved our students, and that is the reason why they keep coming back, and every time with something better than the other time. So today, we are gathered here during this career day because of you. You organized this, and you have made it happen. You have come because you want to talk to our Form 2s and our Form 4s as they make a decision on the subjects they are going to take, as they make a decision on the career they want to take. They will be well guided because you know better. You have been here before. You are out there. You are the professionals in this country, and you have come to share your knowledge with them. So this could not have happened at a better time. This is the best time that it is happening, and it is going to help these children as they make their choices. So the career that each one of these girls are going to take will determine who they become in future. If they make a wrong choice, then they are likely not to be happy for the rest of their lives. But if they make the right choice, then they will enjoy the world of work when they finally get out there. So I believe today is a day that is going to help them make that decision. Which career is best for me? What am I best suited to do? As they continue with their studies, this is going to help them direct their effort towards that which they feel they can do best. Looking at our theme of today's Career Day, Thriving Through the Future, Technology, Entrepreneurship, and Me. It is telling us a lot about what is happening in the world of work today. So these girls are going to leave the Kenya High School and they are going to get into the future. When they get out there, they are going to realize that the world has really changed technologically. Almost everything today is being done through technology. They're also going to realize that it is not everybody who gets there gets employed. You can become an entrepreneur and you can start your own business, you can do your own work. You can also become an employer. You don't have to go out there and get employed. And finally, who is me? How do you fit into this equation as an individual? So this theme of today is going to help guide these girls as they walk through the rest of the time that is remaining for them in Kenya High School. For the Form 2s, they have a longer period of time to make decisions. For the Form 4s, this is the time to make a decision. Very soon, KUCCPS will be telling you to fill in forms and to upload your information, choosing careers that you want to take when you go to the university. Take today and take advantage of the opportunity given to you today. There are very many people who will talk to you. We have panelists who are going to talk to you. Pay attention, listen, pick something that will help you make up your mind in case you're still confused as to what career you want to take. When you go out there into the different rooms and you meet the different professionals, listen to them. Ask questions where things are not clear, so that by the end of the day, everything will be very clear to you. If you want to become a doctor, what do you need to do? If you want to become a journalist, what do you need to do? So today is the day that will help you to make that decision. I know it is going to be fruitful. I know it is going to benefit all of us. As the staff of the Kenya High School, we are very happy to have all of you and for you to come and take time to be with us and to help us guide these children. I want to give an apology of our chairman, Board of Management. He was not able to be with us, and he wished us well. Same case to our PA, the Parents Association. They wished us well, and they said they are together with us, and whatever we do, they know it is for the best interest of the girls. So they are very happy that this is happening. However, I would like to introduce the teachers who are with us. Our school is very large. We have, how many teachers? 86. But for now, we are at 92 because we have teachers on teaching practice. But they are not all here with us. Classes are going on, so we have just a few of the representatives. I'll start with my deputy principals. Kindly stand up. So those are the two deputy principals, starting with the deputy principal administration, Miss Washiori, and the deputy principal academics, Mrs. Munyoki. Teachers who are here with us. Teachers. I'll start with Reverend Kamau. She has just prayed for us. That's Reverend Kamau, thank you. She teaches CRE. And then I'll go to the other extreme end, Mr. Maina, our HOD careers, also a CRE teacher. And then behind there, Miss Chege, our German teacher and an old girl of Kenya High School. And finally, Mrs. Mwenda, HOD Geography, and an old girl of the Kenya High School. At the back, we have Mrs. Munuhe. That's our year head, Form 2. So she has also come to hear what her children are being told so that she can continue reminding them what they will have had today. So we really do appreciate these girls. This is your moment, and we are not going to take the moment from you. I am cutting my speech at that point because we would like to give you as much time as possible so that you'll be able to relate with the panelists. Our panelists, these are the beautiful girls of the Kenya High School. Brilliant, and I know they are going to engage you. Give them everything that you have brought, and I know they are going to take it into consideration as they make up their mind on the careers that they intend to take. Our chief guest, thank you so much, and you are welcome here at the Kenya High School. Every time I look at you and I remember 45 years ago, I still keep asking myself a few questions about the 45 years ago. We are glad to have you, and feel most welcome any other time that you would like to come and visit our institution. We will always receive you with open arms, and we are happy to hear the history that you have about the school and what you went through and how you became who you are today. As far as these girls are concerned, I know there are those who are looking up to you and they're like, when I grow up, I want to be like her. So thank you so much for coming to share with us, because it is going to give us a lot of inspiration and direction into where we are going. So be blessed. God bless you so much. Let us have a fruitful day. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Madam Principal. Hey, you guys, that clap. Eh? Woo! Okay, just two housekeeping announcements. For our guests, the small room, so to speak, is behind this. This is the old dining hall. So if you go out to the right, the loos are there. They are labeled the gents and ladies, okay? We can use that. For the students, we know where to go. We're going to junior corridor, right? Or senior corridor, right? I hope it's still senior corridor and junior corridor. Also, this plenary session is being streamed live by our team here. So just be aware of that we are on live stream. Wow, you're happy? Mnataka kukua famous? Mutaeka kwa TikTok. Okay. Now we have come to the time where we want to hear our keynote address from our guest of honor. Our guest of honor, Madam Senior Counsel. By the way, she'll tell you in our profession, I'm not supposed to speak before her. But since I'm the MC today, I spoke before her, so she has forgiven me. If we were in court, she would have the first chance to speak before me. Eh? So today I'm forgiven because I'm the MC, okay? She's a senior counsel and advocate, Madam Betty Murungi. She's a peace and social justice advocate. Of course, she's an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. She has a long-standing career in the area of peace and social justice and equality. Currently, she serves as a professor at the University of London. She has, University of London. She has a very, very long CV, so because we want to save time, we will leave that one. Maybe she'll tell us a bit here and there in her speech, right? But this is the one I want us to hear. She joined Form 1 at the Kenya High School, BOMA, in 1974. That is 50 years today. Yeah. She's redefining the mathematics, okay? She was, okay, listen to this, guys. Listen to this. So when she came to Form 1, by the way, she was in BOMA at the same time with my mother. Same periods. She was placed in Nightingale, which is currently... Shout out to Yala House. She was also in Baden-Powell and Mitchell, BP. And also in Susua house. That's what I see. Okay, let's settle down. I know you're excited. So she was here between 74 and 79. Wow, okay. At BOMA, she served as BOMA 1. She served as the head of school. Now you call it, I hear, the president of the Students' Council. Allah? Okay, it has changed. She's an active alumni of the Kenya High School, and most recently she was involved with her class efforts to restore school pianos. A clap for her. And a major uplift for the Joint School Society Music Program. The Alumni Society, Madam Betty, is honored that you heeded our invitation to serve as the patron, and you are overwhelmingly elected at the AGM, so we are really glad that you heeded the call. This is your time. Come and talk to us, Madam. Karibu. Give her a hand clap. Stand up. We give her a good clap and welcome her. Welcome. Wow, beautiful. We are glad to have you.
Asante. Thank you. We may be seated. The principal, Mr. Wahome, the deputy principals, our teachers, honored guests, and the most honored guest, the student body. Good morning. Good morning. First, let me make a few corrections. I was not here 50 years ago. I was here 45 years ago. Only 45 years ago. I like to break down my life in chunks of 10 years. That way, 45 years doesn't seem so much. Eh? So in 1974, my parents dropped me off outside what was then Nightingale House, now Yala House. Shout out to Yalans. Where we were introduced to our then house matron and our house mistress. We used to have a matron and a house mistress. And she checked us in. And on that day, those of us who came into the school were 12, 13. The young ones were 12, the older ones were just turning 13. I made lifelong friends. Some of those girls I met during the second week of January 1974 are my friends to this day. Many of the teachers I met then have remained my career mentors, have remained my sponsors, and I'll be speaking a little bit about the difference in those two up to this day. So no experience is wasted. Those of you who are in Form 2, the friends you made last year and the friends you will continue to make, your teachers, your house mistresses, the people who work in this school will remain in some kind of a relationship with you for the years to come. Sharon has told you that I was also in BP House. Shout out to BPians. When we were in Form 3, we used to have, I don't think you have them anymore, but Form 3s were seniors. And once you entered Form 3, you were entitled to live in a cubicle. We had cubies. We used to call them cubies. And so you left the dorms and went into the cubicles. Now, our house, Yala House, had too many Form 2s. So when we entered Form 3, we were too many of us in my house, And the matrons and the principal then decided they were going to transfer 3 girls from Yala House to BP House. Of course, we were very loyal to our houses then. Nightingale House, Yala House then didn't do very well. We never won something that we used to call Cock House. I know things have changed. But at the time, we even had the chaplain, Reverend Vale, come and say special prayers for us. Anyway, 3 of us were transferred to BP House, and they picked the 3 girls from Nightingale House who would not give, not protest too much. Because we were very strong-willed, we went kicking and screaming, but we went to BP House where we stayed until we finished Form 4. Now, we had a senior house, which was only for Form 5s and 6s, and for prefects. I think it's now called Suswa House. Then we called it Mitchell House. So I moved to Mitchell House, and as head of school, all the heads of schools lived in Mitchell House. And we had, it was just a house for seniors, very civilized. We had coffee in the house. It was, we were all 17 and 18-year-olds in that house. So that's the history. Now, the next 10 years of my life, I went to university. I graduated alongside many of my classmates from here. Some of us actually went all the way into the law faculty, and we graduated in 1984. That's the end of the next 10 years of my life. And between 84 and 94 was working, discovering yourself, starting a family, earning the first lot of money that you'd ever earn. And in the next 10 years, by 2004, I had finished having children. Imagine it will happen. It happens in 10-year batches. In 2004, I went back to school. You know why? I was curious. I thought, well, I've done this law thing. It was interesting. For a little while, and then I went back to school because I wanted to know what's on the other side. I took some classes in theology, even. I went to a university that allowed me to audit many, many other classes, and I realized that there's so much I didn't actually know. And I had been thinking I'm really quite smart. So in 2015, another batch of 10 years, I decided to go to South Sudan and work there because, again, my experience needed to expand. I had worked in the West, I had worked in the United Nations as a consultant, I had worked in Geneva, in New York, many places. But I decided there's something I also don't know. Let me go to South Sudan and see what's there. And so I did that. The next 10 years, which is now 2024, I became a grandmother. That's the short story of my life. Now, to why we are here today. The reason we are here today is because it's Careers Day. And we are to speak to you about, what I make of these careers. First, let me just say you are so lucky that your school administration and the Alumni Society, led by our amazing Louise Nyambura, big hand to her, has partnered with the school to make this Careers Day and to make career mentoring a thing. In our time, we didn't have such a day. We had advisors. Our teachers were our advisors. We would go to the teacher that you liked, and we all have favorite teachers, isn't it? Yeah, all of us have them. And the one that tends to be your favorite is the one that likes you. Or the one that is the teacher of the subject that you like. Okay? So you tend to do very well. But some teachers also seek out certain students, maybe the shy ones, and they will advise you. So we all had those teachers who would look out for you, and we would go to them and say, so what do you think I should do? And your teacher would tell you, perhaps, this is where your strength is, consider this. Then you'd go and check with your parent. But we tended to listen more to our teachers, and by and large, they actually pointed us in the right direction. So do not ignore what your teachers tell you. They see things that you do not see. You know that saying about elders seeing things when they're sitting down that you cannot see when you're on top of a tree? It's actually true. It's a true story. So we would take advice from our teachers, consult with our parents, and then you do what you're told. So if you're good in languages, for example, you'd be told, okay, perhaps you could be a great teacher, or you could be a lawyer, and so on. And so that's what happened. Your parents would say, you've studied sciences, and so therefore you should be an engineer or a doctor. And you ended up doing that. And then we didn't have so many professions, right? We had like 5 main ones. You could either be a teacher, you could be a lawyer, you could be an architect, or you could be an engineer or a doctor. And that was it. We didn't have all of these fancy career paths, these exciting, innovative career paths that you have now in technology, in policy, there's so many things that you do. My daughter graduated university about maybe 6 years ago, and she went and did a master's in public policy, but when she went to work, she was working in investment banking, because she was able to study a lot more outside of her discipline. And I think this is what Ms. Wahome was urging you in terms of thinking about what else you can do. So my first point, and I'll make 4 points and hopefully finish talking by the time 20 minutes up. Career progression is not linear. Keep that in mind. It is not linear. For example, I studied law. I ended up in human rights. I'm a human rights professional. Sharon referred to me as senior counsel. Actually, that is a designation that is given by the Law Society. I am her senior, so I am senior to her. But there are very few senior counsel in this country that are designated by the Law Society. And these are lawyers who have gained seniority either by being chairpersons of the Law Society of Kenya, or they're just senior. They are, by practice, and it is something that you apply for, and you have to show that you have many, many years of practice. I practiced law for maybe 15 years, and then I decided that my path was in defending the human rights of women to begin with. And so myself and many other women formed the Association of Women Lawyers in Kenya, FIDA Kenya. I'm sure some of you have heard about it. And we defended women. We provided legal services at no cost to them. And that is where I found my interest lay. So using my law for the benefit of others. To serve is to? And so this is where my interest lay. If you see my name written anywhere, you see some numbers, some letters after it, MBS, Moran of the Burning Spear. That is an award I received in 2002 from the then President of Kenya. Not for being a lawyer. If you read the citation, it was for service to the nation in the field of human rights. So that, therefore, is what I decided to use that education for. So I branched out and I studied human rights law. I did peace and transitional justice. And so in that decade when I was doing human rights and transitional justice, Ayub's colleagues were inviting me to, on their television sets to speak about the International Criminal Court, for example, transitional justice, because that is what I was doing and that is what I ended up doing in South Sudan. So career progression is not linear. Keep that in mind. Second, maintain a sense of curiosity, always. Don't go and study medicine and therefore then you think you can never think about anything else. No. Education is never ending and you must always retain your sense of curiosity. And as you retain your sense of curiosity, don't forget about yourself. What interests you? When you're studying a discipline like, I don't know, maybe law is not that difficult actually, and it's quite interesting. It's like storytelling. But some of it might be, some of you might go to university to study, I don't know, something tough, mathematics maybe. Which one? Engineering. It's tough, right? So you must maintain a sense of yourself. What keeps you happy? For me, it was art. When I was in Kenya High School, we had a great art teacher. I really wanted to study art, and then my teachers told me that, so what are you going to do with art? Who's going to buy your drawings? You know, you can't, with all your smarts, you can't go and do art. And art, the one of drawing, that's what I love to do. So I continued doing it up to today. For some of you, it might be poetry. You write poetry, you do things, you act. Maintain a sense of yourself. Also, retain your spirituality. Get a spiritual mentor. Reverend Judy is here. You may not be in school, but you should have somebody who is like a spiritual guide, because that will center you even as you pursue your career. The third thing I want to tell you is that you must commit to finish what you start. There are many people who go to university, then after 1 year they decide, hii siwezi. No. You don't do that. You start something, finish it. Try and commit to achieving your ambition. And your ambition is not the degree. Don't make a mistake about that. Your ambition is not your degree. Your ambition is to get to a place where you have been roundly educated, you have received an education, an all-round education, not books, not book education. You will go out there into the university and you find that there is opportunity for learning things outside of your discipline. Seek those opportunities. The same way I went back to school at 45 and went to attend theology classes is because I wanted to understand. I mean, I don't think Reverend Judy should be the only person who understands the genesis of those writings. I wanted to know, so who wrote this book? Because certainly Jesus didn't write the book. I needed to know how the Bible was being interpreted and what those stories meant. Again, going back, learning, opportunities to learn and to know more. The fourth thing and this is happening today, seek mentors. Seek. People don't just appear from nowhere and become your mentors. You must seek them out. You will meet some mentors this afternoon, but some of your mentors are sitting right here. I mentor a lot of young women and young men, I have to say, but they seek me out, and they mentor me in return. There is no mentoring relationship where you don't learn from each other. I like young mentors because, believe it or not, they keep me young. You learn so much from the young people that you mentor. But you, as the ones that are seeking the mentors, take the opportunity also to be in that mentoring relationship. You learn, you commit to it, you make the time for it. Now, a mentor is somebody who will walk with you, who will be your sounding board, and who will also hold you accountable. The other kind of a mentor, who is not a mentor, sometimes we mistake, is who we call sponsors. Attract a sponsor. A sponsor is that person who will speak your name in rooms that you will never enter, right? So that sponsor is the person that you need to attract, you need to impress by the way you do your work, and that person is the person who will speak your name in rooms you will never access. At least you will not have accessed that room before your sponsor speaks your name there. So, of course, you will ask, so how do I attract that sponsor? Once you decide on your career path, which, as I have told you, may not be linear, then you will see the people in that career that you're interested in who will be able to be your sponsors. All of us have sponsors. Those of you who will, and many of you will get into professions where you actually start at the bottom. Very few of us start at the top. And if you start at the top, then there is a problem. There might be some corruption going on. Most of us start at the bottom, and as you build your way up, you will meet those sponsors. Now, to finish, I just want to say that we are very, very privileged, all of us that have walked these halls, that have walked the senior and the junior corridors here, that have worshipped in that chapel, that have lived in these dorms, because we have a family that is so vast. We have such a big family, and not just in Kenya. I was saying to the principal earlier that in all the countries I have been, in all the places I have worked, whether it's at the United Nations in Geneva or New York, whether it's at The Hague, whether it's in South Sudan, whether it's in Rwanda, Liberia, Uganda, all of these places, there is nowhere I have been where I haven't met a Kenya high school girl. There is absolutely nowhere you will go in this world that you will not meet an alumni of this school. They will come up to you. Of course, I have to say that because I was head of school here, that there are many, many girls who are my juniors who know who I am, who will come up to me and introduce themselves. But that is the Kenya High way. We seek each other out. You will go and see somebody who was in your school, and you will go up to them and say, "Hi, my name is so-and-so. I was in Kenya High. I'm a Bomarian." That's what sets us apart. That is what we learned here. When we say we learned here grace and wisdom, it is true. And we have taken our gifts far and wide. Our school song comes to mind every time I think about my own career and about your own career. What does it say? You serve, and this was repeated here by the principal, service to humanity, service to country, and above all, service to God. Let us go out there, let us serve each other, let us serve God, and let us be the best version of ourselves. That is the word I want to leave here with you. Lastly, let me just say, Kenya High School is at the top of the academic game. You come first. You are ranked number 1. I think you've been ranked in the top 2 or the top 3 over the last few years. Many years you've come number 1 in your exam rankings. But let me tell you, when you go to university, you will find people who are smarter than you. Always. There will always be that person. There will always be a different way of thinking. Some of you will go to universities abroad. You will find that those kids there underwent a different system of learning, which prioritized different things. You will have to be innovative. You will have to adjust to a different style of learning. And so prepare to meet people who will be smarter than you, who will have had different experiences than you have had. And so prepare to meet challenges. Challenges will always be there. But also ensure, even as you meet those challenges, you enjoy, try and enjoy what you're doing. I'll not tell you, choose a career that you're passionate in. People don't eat passion. Passion doesn't put food on the table. So we long stop telling people that choose something you're passionate in. No. Find something, do it well, and develop passion for it, if that's what is going to get you to put food on your table and to take care of yourself and to serve your country. In closing, let me just say that what I've found very useful is to align yourself with people who are better than you, who are smarter than you. Pick your 5 friends. If you're the smartest in that group, there's a problem. Align yourself with people who challenge you, who will want to make you better, and who will want to make you feel that there's still something that you can reach out for. I'm really looking forward to listening to the panelists and hearing about all of these new exciting careers that they have followed and that they have become, leaders in. And I look forward to interacting with all of you for the rest of the day. Thank you very much for your attention.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Makofi. Woo! Wow. That was beautiful. I was also listening. I was also learning something, yeah? Now, ladies, let's settle down. Were you listening? What did she say the 4 things were? 1. 2. Maintain a sense of curiosity. 3. Pardon? Commit to finish what you start. And 4. Did you understand her seeking mentors and having sponsors? Did you understand her use of the word sponsor? Not the way we know it. Sindio? She used it differently, isn't it? So the sponsors we are looking for are different. And the mentors we are looking for are different. I forgot to tell you, I am an intellectual property lawyer. So when you're doing your rounds, anybody interested, please come and talk to me. I also deal with creatives. I'm now a public servant and I deal with the creative industry. So if you're interested in that, be sure to come. Sawa? Be sure to come. I'm going to call the Kenya High School Orchestra and Choir for some entertainment, and then we'll move on from that. A clap for them as they prepare.
Tumaini sina ila damu yake Bwana, sina wema wa kutosha dhambi zangu kuziosha. Kwake Yesu nasimama, ndiye mwamba ni salama, ndiye mwamba salama milele na milele na milele na milele. Naimba still, oh my soul shall be near, my God to thee. Kwake Yesu nasimama, ndiye mwamba ni salama, ndiye mwamba salama milele. Though like a wanderer, the sun goes down.
I now want to introduce our chair of the Alumni Society. She's also an ex-Bomerian, and she'll tell you which house and which class. Madam Louise Nyamu Steinberg, I think that's the name. Karibu, take it from here.
Hello, Bomerians! How are you today? You know my face, so I'm not going to introduce myself. And you know, every time I come here, I can make a lot of noise and I can talk for forever. I'm so glad to be back here with all of you. Once again, I tell you, when we walk into this hall, Betty, Shekel, all the Bomerians here can attest, there is a feeling that we get. You know, Mrs. Wanjohi, the chief principal, would come here and say, girls, sit down. Then everyone just crumbles. You know, you find your space on the floor. Yeah, woe unto you if you are not a blue rag who had a chair. Yeah? So, yeah, the blue rag still sit on chairs. So you left scrambling on the floor at Form 2 or Form 3. But it's great to be here, and we're glad that even we've seen that this was renovated a bit. This is very, very old ground we're on. Yeah, so if you can imagine, Advocate Murungi here was here also, and you are here. Since 45 years ago, in quotes, 45, we leave it at 45. For me, I'm not going to say much. I actually want to introduce a very fine gentleman here who is going to moderate your panel for today. And I'll tell you where I asked Sharon to give me the mic. Ayub Abdi Kadir Abdi, please come. Please. You all know this man? Now, do you see what Bomerians we do? We bring you such people. Huh? I'll tell you why I've requested to introduce this gentleman. Because he is the epitome of excellence. The epitome of taking lemons and making lemonade. Because where he has come from, you just see him here, talking with Kina HE like it's normal, yeah? He has come from very, very far to get to where he is. The first time I met this gentleman was in the year 2018. And we were doing, who was here 2018? Vivian Kasana. We did Career Day here. And we went to the station he was working in, Ebru TV. Were you an intern still? He was still an intern at Ebru. And he interviewed us. Let me tell you, I was looking at this guy like, which planet did he come from? Because the absolute precision that he had, his research was so deep. He knew everything. He knew what questions to ask. He knew how to moderate us. He knew how to pinpoint us. He knew how to challenge us for every single person who was there. We were there thinking, this will be easy. What? We left sweating. Sweating. And I remember I told Ayub, you're going to go far. I told you that. I told him he's going to go far. His trajectory is so big. And that is why I'm so glad that he agreed to come. I don't take it for granted, Ayub. There are other people who would not have come. And I know you have a big program. You are an important person. You have big things to do. Did you see him in America? Woo! At the White House, asking those questions. You saw him with neither fear nor favor. This is what you can all be. So I just want to give him a few minutes to just say something about himself, and then we're going to welcome the panel, okay?
Thank you. So allow me to greet you with the Islamic greeting, which more or less is a reflection of what Reverend told us. May the peace and the blessings of the Almighty God be upon all of us. I am in such familiar territory because where I come from, my home, I am more or less a minority because my wife is a woman. I am also taking care of two girls whom my late sister, when she passed on, passed the responsibility over to me. I'm expecting my firstborn daughter on the 22nd. So I am in a familiar territory. Na nimeshukuru, I am very happy. I'm very happy to be here because I am a firm believer in education and the impact it can have, that can have on societies across the world. We first met with Luis in 2018 when I worked for an organization which is a media outlet called Ibru TV, based along James Gishuru Road in Lavington. And then I was an intern in the course of that time of my career. We did that interview with her. I still have the photos. Thereafter, in the subsequent years, she spent some time in Germany, then she came back. But I always looked forward to coming here. So when she mentioned about today's event, on Monday or Tuesday, I told her, don't worry, relax, I'll come. Hakuna pressure. So I am happy to be here. Therefore, and also receive greetings from Olive Barrows, my colleague, who was a student here. She is an old girl of here. She was supposed to be here, but because of the program that she has today, she has excused herself. So I am happy to meet Senior Counsel Betty, the Principal Secretary, the other members of the Alumni Association, the beautiful faces here. And we are living in a very critical time where the young voices in this country, you included, are very cognizant of what's happening around them because of education. Sindio? Yes. There are privileges, probably Senior Counsel Betty, during their times, maybe because of the internet connectivity, maybe because of the platforms that were not there, that they might not be informed about what was happening at the time or them being informed about their environment. But today, within the touch of a button, you have everything by your palm, isn't it? And then in the course of this, I'm sure there are some of you who aspire to be journalists, isn't it? Yes. Si rahisi, but we will talk nyuma ya tent. Si namna hivyo? Therefore, I'm happy to be here. I have dedicated this day to listen to those of you who are interested. We'll be having a panel discussion to sikia wale wengine watatuambia nini, and then we bring it down to your level so that if you had concerns, if you want further emphasis on a specific area, if you wanted to understand more about certain profession, then the panelists will be telling us. They will be in a better and firm position to tell us. So happy to be here, happy to be amongst you, happy to see all these happy faces, and I am always as optimist, I am always, that the future of this country is great. Courtesy of education, and you are the young Kenyans who will break the barriers of the challenges that we as a country have had in the past. Because we no longer identify ourselves by your tribes. Does anyone care about where your partner comes from or your classmate? Isn't it? The one common objective here is education. Your paths may be different after here. Many of you will be subscribing to different professions. But again, as Senior Counsel mentioned, the lifelong relationship is what you will have to preserve. Because even at the different professional levels, you still will be interacting and getting back to the school. I studied in Wajir County for my primary and high school education, came to Nairobi for my university education. I meant primary and secondary. Things are not as smooth as they are here in counties that are in the northern frontier, Mandera, Wajir, and Garissa, because I was telling some of the school administration members here that there are some privileges that you have that some other people may not. So here the climatic condition is favorable, you have enough teachers, and you have enough facilities, so there is no reason for you to not be excellent in your career. And there are many other determinant factors when you get out of here because of the discipline required in the job market, because of the expectations that the society has, that again after here you will be at another level where a world awaits you with its fair share of challenges other than now you being here within the confines of the Kenya High School. Because you will be within a society and a framework where you will have to be the best. As the senior counsel mentioned, maybe the persons you will meet at the university or your colleagues at the higher level education might be sharper, smarter, and brighter than you. But what keeps you going is the degree of discipline that you always display in your life. And then thereafter, there is the other level where you will have a partner in your life. I'm talking about marriage life. Senior counsel also mentioned it requires a set of discipline. Because when you unaishi hapa, huko kwa ground mambo ni different. So mine is to appreciate the beauty of this institution, which has channeled a galaxy of professionals who have had impact in their own professional frameworks. And what binds all of you together here is the quest for education. I'm sure a majority of you come from backgrounds that are humble, but because of the opportunity that the Kenya High School offers, you will be someone in tomorrow's society. So the aspect of discipline, number one, you only fear God, even before discipline, isn't it? So some people had asked Dr. Lewis and Senior Counsel and Madam Principal, kwani wewe hauogopangi ukiuliza hizi maswali? So I tell them, as long as there's objectivity and you are fair, there's no problem. Haya mambo mengine tuta address. And above that, as a Muslim, I pray 5 times a day. It means I submit to God 5 times a day. So, kuna kuogopa binadamu? But if I get back to my Bible again, because as a Muslim I have to be very religious, God tells me, after you believe in me, you ask for whatever you want. Next, and it's a must, it's an order, it's a directive actually. You must respect the institution of parenting. Explicitly mentioned in the Quran. The Old Testament and the Quran in many ways reflect each other. For example, I am called Ayub. Ayub is Job in the Bible. Isn't it? Because of the patience that he had displayed when he was going through sickness and other challenges of life. The story of Joseph and his brothers, Noah and the ark. In fact, I cannot be a complete Muslim without believing in Jesus. And the Quran has an entire chapter called Mary or Maryam, the mother of Jesus, and talks about his miraculous birth. So religions, mainstream religions in the world, advocate for one thing, that you believe in the Almighty God. If you do that, then you respect the institution of parenting, and then underneath that comes the people who are your guardians, your teachers, or any other person taking care of you, and you respect other people, then you have nothing to lose in this life. Mambo mengine yote itajisort. Tumelewana mpaka hapo? So any profession will demand that portfolio upon which you have to thrive. Your teachers are very important in your life. At the primary level, you are handled. At the secondary level, you are now handled. At the university, yes, there is a degree of maturity in you, but still you will need some guidance around what to do and what not to do. So in the entire process of your life, you have not been without God, your parents, and your teachers. It's paramount, therefore, that you show discipline and dedication to them. Mzazi hata hahitaji mambo mengi at times. Just speaking to them nicely. Unawajulia hali. In future, you'll realize these things, kidogo kidogo. Actually, I'm sure when most of you get married, mzee akitoa kitu kidogo, anakuambia tumia madhe. So he means, for example, my mother now. It will be better off if it's 30,000, I divide in between, nipatie 15 mama, wife atume, na mimi nitume 15. If I send the 30, there can be an assumption, by the way, kijana yangu angenitumia mingi, labda wife amechukua zingine. You get my point? So parents are special people in our lives. Even if your mom attains 100 years and you are 85, she will still consider you a kid. Yet all of you are growing older. That is the beauty of life. So my journey started back in Wajir. Came to Nairobi for my university education. I did my internship at Ebru TV for 1 year. Then thereafter got employed for 1.5 years. I moved on to K24 in 2021 August. Worked there for exactly 11 months. And then I moved on to Citizen TV where I'm still working. Now I'll be marking my 2nd year September. The story mentioned by Louise, and I'm sure most of you have seen what happened on the 23rd of May at the White House, the East Room to be specific, is something I'll write a book about, is an element that any professional journalist has to embody of seeking accountability with no regard for where you are, who the person is, as long as the occupant of that position is a state property. I always say, we have got no problem with a private citizen who is living in his home or her home. But we have every reason to question anyone who holds public office on accountability basis without subjectivity. And that's how we grow our country, sindio? Because whatever we have to manage them well. Hata nyumbani kama kuna budget saizi ukipatiwa pocket money, so you have to manage yourself. You can't overspend, isn't it? Na ufai kukaa njaa. Unatumia kidogo kidogo, but you have to manage and balance your budget. So it's all about accountability, objectivity, and fairness as we build our country. So I'm happy to be here, happy to be part of these very beautiful faces here today on this important day, Career Day. For those of you who are interested, you want to know anything about the field of journalism, I'm here. You have queries about an issue in terms of the specifications, the print and the broadcast units, what goes into that, the production part, I'm here to answer all your questions. The panelists watatuambia pia on their part, we'll have a question and answer session, though we'll limit because of time, but the whole of the day, you'll be going to the respective persons to gain more knowledge. Therefore, I am happy. Consider me part of your son here at the Kenya High School. Therefore, asante sana, thank you so much. Thank you. So we now, at the best interest of time, call on to the stage my members of the panel. Engineer Winfred Mutinda, Head of State Commendation. She is an energy engineer with Ketraco. Thank you, Karibu. Your name is somewhere. Must be this one, yeah. Also, we have Engineer Wamboi Kibathi, Registered Consulting Engineer with the Engineers Board of Kenya. So our two beautiful engineers will be specifying on science, engineering, technology, and mathematics because we have themed the discussion. Ms. Washeke Ndwati, the founder, Centonomy. She's an alumni as well, class of 1994. Alikuwa foreman ya Miss Louise. Mr. Ken Mlamba. Luthian classical guitarist. And then finally, we have Ms. Zeppelin Ouma. She's a wellness coach. So we'll have, according to the program, we are supposed to have this discussion for an hour. And then thereafter, we'll have a question and answer session. At that session, we'll be limiting because of time. Then thereafter, you can engage the panelists because they will be around in seeking more information and clarity. So basically, this is going to be an informative discussion to hear from them as to the specific themes in the field of STEM, finance, planning and entrepreneurship, creativity and craftsmanship, and then wellness and well-being, because it's an informative piece to help you understand more and expound your thinking in terms of knowledge, and where you are able to pose a question, please do so, and to the specific person who is on set with us here. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I appreciate your company, and most of you are old girls here, so therefore, pleasure to have you again. So let's begin on this very important subject of STEM, and Engineer Winfred, coming to you first. How key is this field in the contemporary world, given the advancement in technology, given how young people are tech savvy, the changing dynamics in terms of the trends? How key is the area of STEM?
Yeah. So, good afternoon, Kenya High School. Good morning. Oh. So first, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Winfred Mutinda. I work as a transmission system planning engineer at KETRACO. KETRACO is Kenya Electricity Transmission Company Limited. I'll be 10 years at KETRACO in October 2014, having joined in September 2014 as a graduate trainee at KETRACO. Can you hear me now? Sorry about that. Oh, this is much better. So first, before I start, it said that never admire quietly. And I want to congratulate the management of Kenya High School for this event. I'm very passionate about mentorship. This is what I do on a daily-to-daily basis, in addition to my engineering career. Thank you so much, Senior Council, for your presence in this meeting today. And thank you for sharing those nuggets of wisdom. So for me, I came here, and as Ayub has said, I've worked in the field of STEM for almost 10 years now. graduated from the University of Nairobi, and then proceeded to do a master's in public policy at the University of Oxford in 2020-2023. So my message here today, just before I talk about Ayub, is a very simple message that STEM is rewarding, fulfilling, and exciting for women. And then I come to Ayub's question on why STEM is so important in the contemporary society. For those who are wondering what STEM is, maybe I don't want to assume. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And we all know that STEM plays a very crucial role in solving most of the pressing challenges in the world currently. So it is careers, or it's a field that is very crucial when it comes to giving solutions to most of the challenges that you are facing currently as a society. And these challenges could be very diverse, they're very multidimensional. If we look at the challenges that we've faced initially, I want to refer to the COVID-19 pandemic. And if you look back into 2020, you will realize that the STEM field played a very crucial role in dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. We saw the collaboration between engineers, scientists, innovators, and all these other mathematicians, statisticians who were able to predict the models that are needed to look at how COVID-19 will evolve in the coming days during those years. So, I mean, you cannot ignore STEM, because STEM actually solves most of the global solutions. And to just add to this, we know it's a male-dominated field, but I always say that women are best suited to be in the STEM careers. And this is because women have a human-centered approach to solving problems. I mean, if you look at our feminine nature, we are naturally very empathetic. And this is what we need in society, putting that empathetic nature into the solutions that we give. We are mothers, we are caregivers, and we always look at solutions, not from just a personal perspective, but from a societal perspective. So that is why I would say STEM is very crucial in the contemporary society.
Thank you. My name is Wambui Kibathi. I'm a water and sanitation engineer, currently working with a consulting firm called Howard Humphreys Consulting Engineers, and I have been with them for the last 14 years. And it has been a great experience doing the work that I do. As I said, I am a water and sanitation engineer, which means that I make sure you have water in your taps. I'm sure many of you wake up in the morning, you open your tap, you brush your teeth, you cook your food, you know, with some water, you wash your clothes, you wash your dishes. But have you ever stopped to think about, how did this water get here? That I'll turn my tap, there's water. When I flush the toilet, where does that go? So I deal with that whole process. We collect water from the river, we treat it, we distribute it to the homes, the offices, the schools, and once it is flushed down the toilet or goes down the drains, we collect that water, we treat it, we send it back to the river. So we deal with that whole cycle. But do not be worried. We make sure that it has attained the required standards before it goes back. And now, speaking about the contemporary, the question that you asked, if I think about what I have just spoken about and STEM, we solve daily problems, daily challenges. So, you know, I make sure you have water. My fellow engineer makes sure you switch on the light and, you know, there's power in the house. So when I think about that and I think about where the world is going now, and especially when we start looking about things related to climate change, it's a major thing that we need to focus on and consider. And STEM are the people those who are in STEM are those who are best suited to deal with these issues. We shall be dealing with floods. We shall be dealing with drought. To get electricity, we need either it's hydropower, we need groundwater for those that use the steam turbines. So how do we make sure that we protect our environment and the world from these changes that are coming? we innovate solutions that will help us and cushion us from those problems that will come about with the climate change.
Ms. Washeke on the far end, and I'm sure they are taking notes, so specific questions to specific persons, and they will be responding to those questions promptly. Ms. Washeke, in the field of financial planning and entrepreneurship, is this the next frontier? Is this the frontier to end the dependency on the white-collar jobs because of the shrinking market space, yet we have graduates who are getting out of the universities? And what's your message in those who are willing to be the new subscribers to entrepreneurship and the field of financial planning?
Can you hear me? Okay. Is it afternoon or it's still morning? Good morning. Yala in the house. Class of 1994 here. It's so good to be back. My name is Washeke Ndwati. I was in 1994, I was singing, those returning. And I'm having such a moment of nostalgia being back here, where I'm even confused. Should I be sitting behind there? What am I doing here in front? But students, you look amazing. Thank you to Louise for having this, to the principal. And I continue to love this school. So well done to all of you. So, thank you. To answer Ayub's question, let me link it back for you with what happened after Kenya High School for me. So I'll answer it, but through my own journey. So I left, like you all are about to leave. Some of you are about to make career choices. And I went into university. I went to USIU. I don't think I quite knew what I wanted to do. So for me, when I left Kenya High School, I was a good student, but I was not the best. I was a good sports person, but not the best. So to all of you who find yourself somewhere in between, don't worry. It's okay. Not everybody will get the certificates on this stage all the time. Not on this one stage, yeah? So if you sometimes wonder, why am I not in front? Let me tell you also what happens to the people who are not always in front. So I went through this phase where I didn't know. So I did a general bachelor's in business administration. I literally went to the university and just ticked a box. I did not have the opportunity you have now to have mentors sit in front of me and tell me what it could be like. And after that, I did a master's that was in banking, somewhat in banking and somewhat in professional accounting. So I assumed my career would be in banking. So I started working at a bank. And as I was working, first I worked for an investment advisor, then a bank, but it was the same financial industry because I thought that's where I would end up. And let me tell you, it was a fantastic start. So even for those of you who think entrepreneurship, some of you it may come fast, some of you will find it after you've gone and experimented in the workplace for a while. So don't think it has to come immediately. If you don't have the answer immediately, go into work, because it taught me a lot as to how businesses should actually run. Then, as I was doing this, I just felt, and I think those of you who will find yourself in entrepreneurship, there's something you will feel. You will feel like the world is not right. Do some of you feel that? I think we're hearing voices in this generation really calling out, something in the world is not right and we are done keeping quiet about it. And I think continue, because what we are seeing, entrepreneurship is not simply about starting a business. Entrepreneurship is about a conviction to solve a problem. So remember that. It's not a business, because even if you end up at a job, employers of the future don't want people who come in 9 to 5 to be told what to do. I am an employer and I don't want employees like that. They want people who are problem solvers, who are innovators. So no matter what you do, what problem are you fixing? That is what should disturb you. Not what job are you getting, not what business are you starting. That's the first thing. What problem are you actually fixing? So as I was talking to people, I realized the problem is not your banking. The problem is not the shares you might buy on the stock market, which I can explain later. That's not the problem. The problem is people don't have a fundamental understanding of how money works. So I left my employment to start doing that. At first, I was helping them with their investments, but along the way, the conversation took a different turn, where they would tell me, I'm trying to retire, I want to buy a house, I want to buy a car, I want to save for education, I want to save for a holiday, I need to help my family back home, and I don't know how to plan my finances. Then I realized, was I ever taught this in school? Have you been taught in school? No. Was there any degree, bachelor's of learning how to manage your money? No. So there was a gap that was missing in society, teaching people how to manage money. So I started my business Centonomy in 2009, simply to teach people how to manage their money. It started with one person, and I realized one person, every time I talk to another person, 80% of the problems are the same, and Centonomy became like a school. So today we have taught in different ways, using technology, in physical forums like that, over 1 million people on how to manage their finances and how to start a business. Yeah? And why I link it back to my experience here is for all those who find you as in-between students. You're not bad, you're not good, you're okay, not completely being noticed in school. I was one of those. I was quiet, yeah? I was an average student, but it's not that. When I came out, what Kenya High School had given me was the ability to talk to anybody from whatever background they came from. And that is what I used in the business. So don't underestimate that what you are getting from each other is exposure that will work for you. But back to his question, let me start with the entrepreneurship. We must stop talking about unemployment and start talking about who the job creators are going to be. Because it's not about the government giving jobs and availing jobs. I know they keep talking jobs, jobs, jobs. But it's about the environment in which jobs can be created, and people like you can decide, what am I good in? What am I skilled in? What can I actually do? And I would like all of you to embrace a spirit of experimentation. You may not know the answer outright. Even for me, Centonomy wasn't my first business. But everything you do is a step. So even after you finish, especially for those finishing Form 4, you have a gap before you go to university. What are you going to do? Because that's when you can say, what service or product or solution can I give one person? Then start understanding, as you give that to more and more people, is there a market for it? Is there a need that is being addressed? And what entrepreneurship really is starting to arrange yourself, your time, your networks, and the resources around you to solve that problem for more people. That's all there is to entrepreneurship. How do I solve that problem for more people? So yes, back to what Ayub was saying, is this something we all have to start thinking about? Not as, back in the day, we used to be told, if you're in business, is for the people who have failed school. That was if you start a business, you have failed school. But now I'm going to say, no, if you start a business, it's just that you want to solve a problem in a different way. It's just that you are committed that you have the personality and the character and the discipline to be able to learn and start to manage resources around that business. Yes, I do think more people are going to be doing what I do in different ways. Because what are we seeing? I think it's such a good question because of what we are seeing. I did see until what happened recently. That what we're having is an intense financial literacy problem. In fact, I'm really challenged about taking what I do to the next level. I hadn't seen the way to be exposed to me now. So I think when it comes to money, you will get out and you will start earning your money. But the principles of your money is how you will run your business, is how, now I'm looking at it, is how the economy needed to be working in the first place. So you start earning your money, and the thing I'll tell you with that, even as you look at it, would it be what I start doing? What I cannot spend more than I have. I should invest, I should grow wealth out of it. So what I'd like you guys to see, even as you think about it, is you'll start earning money, But now I need you and your generation to move from just people who earn money or even save a little money to people who are actually wealth creators for this economy.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Zeppelin, this is interesting, is it? Wellness and well-being. And we earlier had a chit-chat about it. And what was the motivation behind you venturing into this area? And is it a career you studied? Is it a passion you, afterwards your graduation, realize it's something that you can achieve? And for those who are willing to also get into this space, what's your call?
Good morning. Yeah, my name is Zeppelin Oma, but I mostly go with Zepp. My friends call me that. The government calls me Zeppelin Oma. And I'm so happy to be here today. When I was told if I can come here, I was so privileged and I felt happy and blessed to be in front of amazing, amazing girls who are coming out of school and joining us to the world outside. So I studied music and political science, which is totally different from what I'm doing at the moment. The first time I joined a class, a wellness class, something in me was awakened. When I left the class, I felt like I dropped something and I left it in the class. It's like I was carrying a weight on me. And I didn't realize that, because it's something we don't learn in our culture on how to take care of our minds. The way we take care of our body, we go to the studio, we do fitness. The way we take care of our souls, we go to church, some go to mosque, some go to temple. But no one talks about our minds. Yet this is such a powerful thing that we have. If it's not well taken care of, we can easily slip off, especially on how we respond to life and especially how we respond to other people. So when I joined that class and I left, I knew something in me really wanted to keep doing it. And I wanted to step into a space of knowing, how can I take care of myself? How can I work around fear, stress, anxiety? And it's sad that these are things that we pay in our life, that we happen to get in spaces that we are scared, maybe of even our exams, or something in life that you just feel like, am I going to make it? Will I do well? Or even stress at home, or stress with our health. And what wellness does is it steps into that space of helping you to regulate your emotions. And that's where I am. I run retreats in Nairobi, outside the country, and classes one-on-one, private classes and group classes. And where did I studied this? I went to Barcelona in Spain, and I took a course on how to integrate wellness and mental health. Later on, I went to India to study traditional Chinese medicine, which, if you're familiar with acupuncture, it's a different way of how you can put your practice, your exercises linked up to helping your mental health. So I'll be here to hear from you and get your questions, and being able to maybe drop something into your cup that can help you with how you can manage your stress, how you can manage fear or anxiety.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Ken, you received an applause from the beautiful ladies here upon coming on the stage with your guitar. Yes. What inspires you, and what led you to this particular field?
It's interesting. Those who have spoken, can you hear me? Oh, first of all, I say, hey. You young people like greeting one another. Hey, is it? Hey or yo? Somebody wrote that to me on my WhatsApp, one customer. I said, what's this guy? What does he want? What does he mean? Yo. Anyway, what inspired me? From childhood, I was interested with working with my hands, carving things without having any formal exposure or education. I would get a nail, put it on the jiko, make a chisel, cut a branch, carve a boat out of it. And then from there I started making bigger boats, destroyers with guns, with all full furniture and everything. And then I thought, why don't I try making a guitar? In 1971, that's how old I am. In 1971, I started the adventure of making a guitar. The first guitar I ever made was an electric guitar, which, by the way, is much easier than what I have here, an acoustic guitar. I didn't bring it to play it, I just brought it as proof that I do make them, huh? Okay? I may be a bit rusty in playing. So I just plugged it into, and this is creativity, plugged it into the gramophone. We used to have these things called gramophones where you put a disc and it's played by an arm. Okay? So I plugged it into the arm of the gramophone and it played. Hallelujah. Eureka. Anyway, I give God the glory for all that. It's not mine, it's His gifting. And it's not for me, it's for others. And that inspired me to greater heights. There are people who would come and tell me, you can't make a guitar, they're imported. You can't make it yourself. I would fall, I would get up and try again. And since then, I've had careers outside making guitars. I've been an HR practitioner. I graduated from USIU with business administration. But I've gone full-time into making the guitars and teaching others. I have an apprentice right now under me. I've had other apprentices before learning the skill. And if you don't mind, Ayub, I'll just show this quickly so that they know. It's true. This one, I want to encourage you. I made this one in 1987. Okay? I've made for many artists. Now, that keeps encouraging me, inspiring me. Some of the top artists, they come, I make for them. I make what they want. 10-string classical guitar was the last one I did. And so the journey continues. As I get older, I'm not getting less. I believe in what the Word of God says, that you will bear fruit in your old age. And I'm bearing more and more. I have a greater vision. I want to reach a point where we stop importing 98% of our musical instruments. Let's start making them here.
Thank you, Mr. Ken Mlamba. I mean, that is an inspiration, is it? That he was told he can't make it, but he... So this was in 1987?
Yes.
87? 87.
But I started in
71.
Form 1.
You were in Form 1 then?
Yes.
Some 3 years. that is some 3 years before Senior Council joined the Kenya High School. So one line of question, then we take and field questions from the beautiful ladies here. I'm sure you have a lot to ask. Then thereafter, we'll limit because of the timing aspect. But the ladies and the gentlemen and others will be here to tell you more about the specific area you want to understand more, you want an emphasis in getting to understand further. So be ready. The microphone will be going around, so we'll balance it out per section. Then you'll direct the question to a specific person who is seated here. So the two engineers, given what COVID had done to the world and the realization that the human potential has not been explored even to its limit, and what people have done through technology and how the workspace has literally changed, then what does the new frontier and the world look like, especially for our Kenyan context here, where we see a lot of young ladies and women now in education because of the clarion call to make sure that the boys and the girls both get quality education. What does the future look for us as a country, given that STEM appears to be now crucial as to what as a country in the next frontier we will be?
So thank you so much, Ayub, for that question. So I think I would say that for us to continue thriving in STEM as a country, it requires concerted efforts. And this is all the way from, you know, the curriculum in the schools, as well as the industry and all that we do for the country. And it all starts with the policies that we have as a country. That's why for me, I am an engineer, but maybe later when you go to school, when you have access to internet, you will go through my profile because I always believe that my mission is bigger than myself. And everything I do in this world, as it has been said in this meeting, is as I serve humanity, I believe that it's service to God. And everything, I remember Wes Moore, who is from the US, once said, there's a difference between your job and your work. My job is engineering. That is what gives me an income. But my work is to create a positive difference in society. And that's why for me, when I leverage my engineering skills, I'm able to make a difference. And the reason why I proceeded to pursue a Master's of Public Policy is because personally, in my own capacity, I do a lot for society. I do mentorship. In the energy sector, I am a member of the Energy Sector Agenda Committee for the past 5 years, and I've done quite a lot in that sector to promote gender mainstreaming in the energy sector. I developed the first gender mainstreaming policy for Ketraco, and I've been so instrumental in spearheading non-discrimination in the energy sector in Kenya. So when you see the head of state commendation, as Senior Counsel Betty says, it is not because of the work that you do, it's not because of your job, it's because of that additional thing you do for society. And for me, that thing is fostering gender equality. Not to say that we are trying to be better than men, no. We are trying to create a world where both men and women can coexist to make the lives of people much better. So for us to be able to leverage the power of STEM, it starts from the policy perspective. When I went to pursue a Master of Public Policy, I remember I was asked, what is the interlink between engineering and public policy? And I was like, you know, as engineers, what guides us in implementing our projects and everything that we do as engineers is captured in policies. And as a change maker, it's good for me, it's good for us to understand the limits and possibilities of policy making. And that's why I did not really divert from my engineering career, but I proceeded to go and diversify my skills in public policy so that I can be a better change maker. So that when I serve my country, when I serve my community, I'm able to do it in the most efficient way possible. So it has to start from the policies, and then we also have to make sure that the organizations leverage the power of technology. We are in the world of AI, and if you're looking at some of the emerging careers in STEM, I mean, there are careers in science, there are careers in technology, there are careers in engineering, there are healthcare-oriented careers, but we also have the emerging careers where now we are leveraging the power of AI. Referring back to COVID-19, I remember if you read the story of how different developed countries leveraged the power of technology, you saw that even some robots were used to deliver food and medicine to some of the patients of COVID-19. So we have to look into this as a country, make sure that we implement the policies and put in place the structures and strategies that help us to leverage these aspects of artificial intelligence. And because, you know, artificial intelligence is just using computers to mimic the human intelligence. So it's something that we have to be open to if we have to thrive in STEM. And before I get back to you, Ayub, I want to just say something that really inspires me. And it's a quote that says, every girl, no matter where she lives, has the opportunity, or should be given the opportunity to develop the promise inside of her. I've come to Kenya High School today. It's not the first time. The first time I started my mentorship journey in 2018, I had just survived an accident in 2017. And I went directly to Akili Dada, and I'm sure you maybe know Akili Dada. And the first place where I came to mentor was Kenya High School. I remember it was somewhere, I think, in the dining hall, and you inspired me. And after that, I've gone to so many schools all across the country. Recently, I was in Turbi Girls in Marsabit. And, you know, the story is the same. We are trying to encourage you to try and partake or uptake these STEM careers, because we are there to hold your hands. As it has been said, at least you have mentors, people to look up to. So please, we want to change the statistics from the, Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, where they say that for all the total students enrolled in STEM courses in universities and tertiary institutions, only 30 to 35% are female. Please, let's join hands. You have the mentors, you have the inspiration that you need, and let's come together to spearhead careers in STEM. Thank you.
Ayub, like you said, the 2020 season of COVID was a life changer. And I think particularly for us who are in the STEM industry, I think it opened our eyes to the fact that things can change in the blink of an eye. We used to go to the office. I mean, we only did our designs, our interactions in the offices. But after STEM, you're not in, after COVID, you're not in the office for, I think we didn't work for maybe quite a bit, 3-4 months, face-to-face interaction in the offices. So what did that mean? We had to embrace technology. So many things came up that we were not used to. So whether it was having design meetings through the internet, we were very used to you sit with your notebook and with a pen, and we are writing and marking up drawings. But that now changed. So you have to keep up with the times. So you're working on PDFs or drawings or whatever else, and you have to use your mouse and figure out how to mark something up, update it. And it was an interesting time, particularly for me, just the new software that was there, getting to learn it, which is a very important thing when it comes to STEM. You have to keep in touch with what technology has. It keeps changing every day. There are softwares that we were using before COVID, a couple of years ago when I left campus. In fact, when I left the University of Nairobi, we were all required to do our assignments on a certain software called AutoCAD. But you're not taught that in school. You have to figure it out for yourself. Take the initiative, learn the technology that is there. So COVID was a game changer. And I would want to encourage those who are interested in STEM. You have to keep in touch with technology. It keeps changing. You're using one form of something today, before you know it, it has changed. You're collaborating with people from the Western world. They use different things from what we do. And you cannot say that you will not take up a project or be involved in one because you cannot use the technology that is used outside. I mean, that is not an excuse. So we have to keep abreast with how the world is changing and make sure that, we keep in touch and are well-read and know what is going on the world over.
Ms. Washeke, earlier on you talked about solving a problem as to the entry point to the field of entrepreneurship and financial planning. But many would ask, and of course the young girls here would want to understand then, as much as I want to solve a particular problem, how about the capital aspect? Where will the finances come from? And the challenges that also lie ahead in terms of what to look into the nitty-gritty details.
All right. I once asked God that same question. When I was in the phase of I had understood, I like having conversations with people about money, but again, I know because I had worked, and I think where I worked, at that time there were very traditional institutions, banks, because in my time, remember we were told, a good job is being an architect, a banker, a lawyer, a doctor. And now I think some of you are going to go into career spaces that we have never heard of in our lives, yeah? And I think you must be so open to that. But at that time, where I was coming from was that background. So as I was discovering that I like doing this and I would like to do it under my own business, and why my own business? I was moving from that very traditional sector. I was telling people I want to start a business teaching people about money, but nobody was quite doing it. Not the way I did it in form of it's going to be a school about money. Nobody was doing it like that. So people thought I was crazy. Even my own parents were like, what do you mean you're leaving the bank? And this conversation I had with God, I asked him, now how? I was also finding I'm broke at the same time. So I'm broke. Can you hear me? I'm broke. In another forum, I'll explain to you how broke I was. But I was broke, yet I want to go and teach people about money. Can you see the irony? And what you normally would think, for most people, they'd be like, that means I should not do it. One, I'm teaching people about money, and I used to wonder, if they ask me how much money do you have, where are your investments, what will I tell them? Yet I want to teach them about money. But as I talked to God and I prayed, God told me one statement that has always been in my head. You are mentally and physically able. What else? So even as we talk about capital and need of capital, first ask yourself, what is it that you need the capital for? Because sometimes it becomes a mindset block that you don't start until you have capital in your hands. And because I've done a lot of work with businesses who have capital, when they were first given the capital, in 3 months that capital has been misused. Because it's not the capital that starts the businesses. Once you start, the resources start getting attracted to what you are already doing. In the business world, we call it proof of concept. Then if you do need capital, but for me, once he said that, I was like, actually, I just need to go and start solving one person's problem. That's why I said, go find one person, sell them, make that chair, sell them the chair, and then come and talk about capital. Understand what it takes to actually sell a chair to one person. And then you're like, okay, this is what I need for 10 people. Then this is what I need to make 100 chairs. But don't let money be what stops you, because once you get it going, and there are many, many, many ways to find different types of capital, yeah? But first I would say, get it going. Start. That one person. What does it lead to? And then also be open to the format in which it might take. You might start doing one thing one way, and then realize there's a more efficient way to do a lot of other things. As I was doing this work, and wanted to branch out into other products, I never thought I would be a writer. So I have published a book. I published this book 5 years ago called Making Sense. So my capital, my resources were not money. It was the ability to go have conversations with people. And then those conversations ended up in a book. Those conversations ended up in what I teach. So don't let capital be what stops you. Solve the problem, solve it for one person, solve it for 10 people, understand how it takes to arrange resources to make the 10 chairs, then you can decide and have a plan as to why you need capital, because nobody's ever going to put money in your hands without a plan.
Okay, well noted. Thank you. Zeppelin, we are living in a generation where we appreciate how times are changing, but our parents also subscribe to the dictates of the previous generation. For example, if today you are to convince your mom or the beautiful faces, the girls who are here as parents, about them venturing into wellness and the field of, as you had put it, well-being, they would be concerned, is it? Because they first think about the monetary aspect. They first think about, second, they will think about in terms of the quick giving back to the society. I mean, how would you overcome such barriers in a society where we have generational divide between the current generation and the previous generation?
That's the beauty of where I am. Is to integrate the previous generation with the current. About bringing money quick, it needs patience. Where I am, I call myself entrepreneur because I started from having one client to right now running a studio that has 3 classes a week and it's fully booked every time, creating retreats outside Kenya, which I have a community. Thank you. And where I am at the moment, when I was beginning, my dad especially, he asked me, are you serious? You're not going to do something else? What is this? When are you doing what you needed to do? And I told him, I'm already doing what I want. And I felt the need of bringing mental health into our society and our culture. And it shocked me even when I wanted to do the class and learn how to create spaces. I was shocked on how I couldn't find places to study here in Kenya. There was just one school, but I wasn't interested to join that school. Then I started scouting outside, and I realized, wow, this thing is going so big and high in other countries, yet in our country, we are a little bit back. So with the past generation, I have students who are way older than me, and it's what the class has made them feel and how it has helped them navigate life that has made them still come back and opt for the classes. Since COVID time, a lot of people were stressed because life seemed to be ending all of a sudden. You wake up in the morning, you hear there's this trend moving around, killing people. We have to be, stay in the houses by yourself, no more social scenes, no more interacting with other people. And that was shock to everyone. And after COVID, with my space, that's where everything grew, because most people started opting for their mental health. They realized that actually there's something in us that needs to be taken care of. And when they started working with that period of what happened in COVID, they realized there's some other traumas and other pain they've gone through before. But what we do usually is we put it under the carpet, we move on with our life. But what wellness does is brings you back into clearing that carpet and understanding that life can be hard. You can have scary moments, but it's how to look for balance between good and bad.
Okay. Mr. Ken, passion and what you do at your age, what started in 1971 still is very fresh. You still feel vibrant. You still look forward to moving forward. What's the call to these young faces here who will be out of here in a couple of years' time, some by next year, on the consistency in loving what you do, putting passion first?
Yes, that's very important. I never consider that somebody has a lesser gift than somebody else. Whatever you have is given by the Creator, and you are made in the Creator's image. Therefore, you are creative, I'm creative. And He has put it in me, the passion for whatever I am doing, and I